just got my hands on the second generation of Vivobarefoot's leather and wool Magna FG. The right hand is the second generation, and the left hand is from 2020, the first generation of the leather and wool version. Starting from the bottom up, the outsole is the exact same firm ground mold, same firm ground compound as is in the last year's, and is also featured in the tracker boots. The leather upper is seemingly identical in material quality and feel, softer, almost suede-like leather. There's no additional sort of middleman interface between the upper and the outsole, unlike the new Magna Trail FGs, the ones that have a more of a textile upper. In other words, the leather is bonded directly to the outsole with some sort of glue. Moving up into the eyelets. The eyelets are I guess like the second generation eyelets they've been using. They're a rounded hole as opposed to a simple straight through hole. What that means is that there's less fraying and less sharp edges where the lace is touching the eyelet. You can see on these shoes, which I've walked quite a bit in, that fraying occurs because of the straight hole nature of the eyelets. Laces themselves are a little bit different, and I would argue a little bit better. They seem to be I guess, a little bit tighter woven or I guess knitted lace. They're a solid color as opposed to the heather found in last generations. So definitely an improvement in lace and eyelets. Moving into the collar area, the sock, seemingly the exact same material, same wool material from Woolmark. The sizing I'll get into in a little bit, but in short, this distance, or rather the amount of material they offer in this in the collar here, is a little more generous than in last year's. In other words, the fit overall in the mid and the ankle area are going to feel a little bit looser, or rather a little bit less tight than last year's version. Besides some subtle differences in the materials used in the branding accents and then the pull tabs here in the front and the back, there's really no difference. Inside, there's a leather heel, which definitely helps reduce abrasion on socks and feet. Thermal insole, identical with the thermal insole in this. It's all the same FG firm ground based thermal insole you also find in the tracker boots. Aesthetic wise, we're looking a little bit more subdued in colors. The colorway on the newer generation, it's all sort of this single tone, I guess it's the Sedona sage color. It's almost green. I can get a white piece of paper here to show you the difference. So this gray is slightly warmer, whereas this is going to be a much cooler green tinged leather color, but it definitely goes well with a lot of different colors. All right, jumping into the fit more specifically. Like I had mentioned, the distance, or rather the cut that's provided in this collar, feels to be slightly more. There's more material here than there is provided here. So in other words, this overall fit is going to feel just a little bit looser than what's offered in last year's model. Does it make a huge difference? No, but personally it is noticeable, and that translates into me having to tightening the laces a little bit more than I'm used to. Am I going to get used to it? Yes, because the fit overall, besides this, is essentially identical. So if you're very comfortable with these, you'll be very comfortable with these shoes. There will be wear on the upper, and it's going to happen almost immediately, simply just because there's going to be bending every time you take a step. This is identical from last year's. So I mean, if you're going to have that happen in your other generation one, it's going to happen here. It's just sort of a byproduct of how this shoe is constructed, and in general, barefoot shoes from Vivobarefoot, and how they have this sort of notorious crease that always shows up. At least what I've seen in their shoes. Does it hurt the shoe besides visually? No. I mean, I've walked hundreds of kilometers in these shoes commuting, and there's no wear at all besides this sort of aesthetic crease. So in general, would I recommend them? Yes. The aesthetics, I haven't jumped into that either, but I really enjoy what Vivobarefoot has done with these shoes. They're a crossover between sneaker, trail running, and sort of a winter, fall, spring boot. Are they a good summer shoe? If you like your feet a little bit warmer, yeah, they're going to be okay. But you'd be better off looking at other shoes from Vivobarefoot when it comes to a summer style. It's going to a little more breathability. But outside of the summer, I would consider these to be perfect shoes for walking, sort of an all-around pair to have. So thanks for watching.